Well, this is embarrassing, but I've forgotten what product is next.
Okay, here's a reminder.
Ow! Fine, got it. Rubber bands. Ow!
And that's why we're stretching out and bouncing off to Alliance Rubber Company's 149,000 square foot facility in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And this is Jason Reisner, Strategic Marketing Manager for Alliance Rubber.
We have one golden rule here at Alliance, and that is that thou shalt not shoot rubber bands.
Yeah. We're breaking that rule.
I'm thinking.
With a vengeance.
But first, we've got to get some of these suckers made. Your friendly household rubber band starts with a block of purified latex rubber.
Rubber was used by native South Americans to waterproof shoes and bottles. Christopher Columbus brought it back to Europe.
So you could, in essence, blame Christopher Columbus for all those spare rubber bands in your drawer.
Well, yeah, what don't I blame Christopher Columbus for?
Blocks of purified rubber come from Southeast Asia, where the hot, damp weather is perfect for growing rubber trees. Alliance uses over 3,500 tons of rubber every year.
Each of these blocks weighs about 35 kilograms. This is David.
My name's David, but people call me Stretch.
David cuts and weighs the blocks of rubber and puts it on this very quiet conveyor belt.
Very quiet. Then, David adds red pigment and peptizer. A peptizer disperses a substance into colloidal form.
Okay, I understood like 2 of those words.
Well, in chemistry, to peptize means...
All right, stop right there. It's a magic ingredient that makes rubber bands work.
Fine. The rubber, pigment, and magic powder head into a large mixer.
The mixer heats and mixes the ingredients into a consistency sort of like dough. Right, Reed?
Like making a big rubber pie.
And when it's reached 125 degrees, the remaining ingredients, like sulfur, are added.
Why sulfur?
Well, sulfur helps vulcanize the rubber.
Translation, please?
And it's a process whereby there's a chemical reaction in the rubber bands that causes it to retain its shape.
Ooh, science.
Science.
Then the mixture is extruded into milling, which looks, well, I'll let you see for yourself.
Ugh, gross.
That ball weighs 230 kilograms.
The rubber ball is squeezed and pressed by this giant cylinder. The rolling cools and smooths the rubber dough out into sheets.
This is Robert. He loves rubber band jokes.
My favorite part of the day is at the end when I get the bounce.
Good one.
That's funny.
But first, he's got to make this giant mass of red dough into something a bit more manageable. 3 strips of rubber are pulled away, feeding onto this conveyor.
The conveyor belt deposits the strips onto these drying racks, where giant fans cool and dry them.
Next, the strips are fed into these bins, so they can be taken to the extruder.
Yay! This machine takes the strips in and then heats them to 250 degrees Celsius and pushes the rubber out the other end, this time in tube form.
This looks a little...
Like what? What does it look like?
Well, never mind.
All right. Next, the tube goes through a shower of yellow chemicals, which makes the rubber less sticky and sets it in its tube shape so it'll always bounce back.
Then, the rubber is rinsed to clean it and output into buckets of water for a final rinse and cooling.
The buckets are wheeled off to the cutting department. The tubes are fed into the cutter, which goes crazy fast.
The cutters that we use to cut the tube into individual bands is actually going at a speed at thousands of bands per minute.
Random samples of each batch of bands are taken for testing.
We determine the stretchiness of a band by a process we call ultimate elongation, which determines how far a band will stretch before it breaks.
And it's nerve-wracking.
Oh, I don't like this. It's gonna snap like any second. Oh, it can't go any further. Oh! There it goes.
Let's watch it again!
No, my nerves can't take it. We're going back to the cutting machine now. Thank you. The cut bands travel up a conveyor belt, which takes them to a gravity-fed packaging machine, dropping them into half-kilogram bags.
The bags are then conveyed over to this friendly crew.
We're in a line to be band together.
These ladies box the bags. Look at them go.
Some days we put out thousands of boxes of rubber bands.
The box bags of bands are packaged, palletized, and shipped off to fulfill all the household needs a person can think of.
Rubber bands as a chip clip for your bag.
Keeping your school books together.
Rubber bands on the end of your coat hanger to help items from falling off.
Organizing your kale.
Rubber bands on your cabinet doors to keep kids from getting into the cabinets.
Opening jars.
Rubber bands around your cords and hoses to keep them bundled up together.
Bouncing in ball form.
Rubber band to wrap around your socks so that when you wash them and dry them, they come out and they're still mated together.
Okay, I think I'm out of ideas here.
Rubber bands on the sprayer in your sink to pull a practical joke on somebody when they turn the faucet on, it automatically sprays them with water.
Mind blown. Never even thought of that. Excuse me for a minute.
Oh, brother.